What's up, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of the Envision Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Brad's Gaming. As always, I'm joined by Concho
That's me.
and Triple Bravo.
Howdy, folks.
We are just three guys passionate about video games with different interests, so hopefully we can cover all of the avenues for you. Today's main topic we're going to be discussing is Xbox Game Pass profitable? But we're going to get into the normal nitty-gritty of what have you guys been up to this week? How's it been going?
Well, I guess I'll hop in here first, but not too bad of a week. Started a new job. Pretty boring, but work is work. Played some games this week. Mario Golf release. Played a bit of that with Bravo. Fun game. Outside of that, been playing a lot of League of Legends and dragged the whole crew in kicking and screaming with me this week. But we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. It is hot outside. I have not been enjoying the gym. Well, I enjoy the gym, just not feeling like I'm going to die. As far as gaming goes, a little bit of League of Legends with Joe. Going to have to cut that out.
Wrong.
Yeah, Mario Golf. I'll get into that in a little bit, actually. And then I played some Deep Rock Galactic. I go back to that game every once in a while. I just like it. It's dwarfs in space, mining and shooting up spider aliens. It's pretty good.
That's one I want to try out. And I did see it was on Game Pass, so I will have to get it installed.
Oh, interesting. You bring up Gamepass.
How convenient.
Now, there was one other thing, Bravo, that you're forgetting to mention. You did a little stream of you working on your bus.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to bring that up because it's not like... But yeah,
We're bringing it up.
I'm
bringing it
I
up.
bought a little phone tripod to like stream my deconstruction and then reconstruction of my bus RV that I'm working on. So yeah, if you wanted to check me out, I'm Triple Bravo on Twitch, but it's it's not really planned or executed in any fashion. I just kick her on and I was really, really surprised by the audio quality of just my cell phone in the bus. It was actually
sounded really
good.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's
It was
always nice.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, I don't think anybody probably on Twitch is doing something like that specifically. So something unique. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just a unique butterfly. What about you, Brad? What have you been doing? What's going on?
So I haven't been enjoying this past week because it's so hot. You guys are like, oh yeah, it's been a good week and it's hot, but my apartment's been brutal. It's been hotter every single day. It was like 87 on Sunday and
In your apartment.
88, and now in the apartment with the air conditioning on, it's 87. And today it hit 90. So it's been real hot. I have to basically stay within 3 inches of my air conditioner to not die.
You put a humidifier in there, you basically got yourself a sauna.
I've thought for a while about buying one of those blow up pools, putting it into my kitchen that has like one of the little
I don't
know.
Doing a little hot tub stream?
Yeah, do a palm tree hot tub stream.
Heck
kind
yeah.
of thing. Just dump sand in the kitchen. My landlord might kill me, but being serious, it's been stupid high. I've been kind of trying not to do a ton. It's hard.
Yeah.
And game-wise, I guess we could all talk about it now because we all played League of Legends. So I am by far the worst League of Legends player I think on earth. It's almost impressive how bad I am. I live in my own zone. I play my own game. I'm playing Mundo. I'm just up there doing my thing. I don't know what anybody else is doing. And here I am. They're yelling at me to do stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, oh, this game's still going on?
He's a Mundo one trick.
Yeah.
But it's good to see.
Everybody's doing all these extra things. They're ganking people, trying to attack the towers. I'm just trying to kill the little minions that are coming down my lane. That's all my goals. I'm like, how many of these guys could I take out? That's all my goal is. And then the guy that I'm going against is still beating me in that because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, just about the only way I'll ever play League of Legends anymore is if I've got friends. So,
It's
Got a
enjoyable.
friend in me.
oh boy.
We're gonna get copyright striked if you do that anymore. Too
One
close
line.
to the
You're
real.
allowed one line. All right.
But no, it is fun with friends. I will say it's very enjoyable. But the when you're going against somebody that's leagues ahead of you in it, it's not as enjoyable. That's what I've noticed. Which isn't hard for me.
You'll get there, brother.
All right. So unless you want to talk anything else about League, that's the only game I played. But we can move into the Guess That Price game.
Heck yes.
And
Oh yes.
we got a rule of no cheating this time because Joe pulled a little fast one on Bravo. It was like 52 or something, Bravo said, and Joe just said 51. And it killed the game. So
I
you
bet
have
the
to-
under.
So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna try to change it up a little bit. You're gonna get 3 guesses, and after both of you guess it, or the other thing we could do too is you both can write it down on a piece of paper at the same time, flash it on the screen, and I can tell you guys what I can vocalize it because obviously the
Yeah,
audience
let's do
won't be
that.
seeing it.
That way
Oh,
it's
no.
fair. We guess at the same time.
Okay.
So we could do it that way. I think then there is no cheating. Or we could do like 3 guesses and then we kind of hone it in. So if let's say Joe guesses $50 and Bravo guesses 25, it's in between. I'll just be like it's between you guys. Or you both are too low.
No.
Then you
Let's
can-
do the both guess at the same time. I like that.
All right, yeah. So we can do that. Bravo's scrambling for paper and a pen, not
Who
prepared
owns
at all
papers 2021?
Yeah, he's gonna write it on his boxers.
Post-it notes. Look, these are some
This is
fancy post-its too. Look at these.
Ooh, fancy. All right,
what
so I
what
am
I
going
have
to
here for paper is United States Postal Service priority mail flat rate envelope.
I hope you're shipping that actually out too. Somebody just get some cryptic numbers on there. They're like, "What is this code?" So I'm gonna give you just a tiny bit of a hint for this week. So we're going big. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. We're going big for this week. All right. So we're starting off here with Jack Bros on the Virtual Boy, complete in box. I will tell you, there's been a total of 2 sold recently. That's it, and I had to average those 2. So that's what we're going off of. Complete in box Virtual Boy game, Jack Bros.
I don't even know what a Virtual Boy is.
Yeah, you do. You really don't?
I'm not very familiar with it.
So, all right, the Virtual Boy is Nintendo's attempt back in the day of making a virtual 3D kind of handheld machine. So it had these weird legs that attached to it. Very inconvenient because you put it on a desk and you had to like crunch down, and it was all in red and black. That was the only colors. Kind of similar to the Game Boy, but instead they chose red and black. The hardest colors on the eyes possible. It gave people migraines within 15 minutes. Completely the biggest failure. There's about a total of 20 something games released on it. Not many. And yeah, it sucks. Not very good. They had it to where you can use an AC adapter, but you can also use batteries. I think it was their attempt to do a handheld a different way, but yeah, so it's pretty obscure. All right, guys, you guys both wrote it down, so there is no way you can really cheat now. All right, let's see. What do we have here? All right, Bravo has 189.99, and Joe has 750. All right, there's a gigantic difference here.
You told me big.
We
I
gotta
went
get a
big.
doggone calculator out. Like, all right, who's closer? Actually,
I actually kind of do. So, all right. So,
wait,
Joe,
it's
show me
actually
yours one more time.
between us. What?
All right, Joe was the closest, but he was $1,544 off.
It's
Oh,
$2,200.
So the game goes for $2,294.
all right.
All right, so that's what I mean by big. That gives
Okay.
you a little taste.
Okay,
But
Satan.
also, it's whole dollars. Don't be taking pennies off trying to one up me.
I just thought that was
Yep.
funny.
All right, yeah, we're going for the so that's a good. Joe gets the first one. When I said big, I meant big.
Well,
All right.
I'm going for the official 3-0.
all right.
not
In the
this
future,
unofficial.
Yeah.
we call that Bigglesworth big. Okay, whenever it's
Bigglesworth big.
ginormous
Or is
like
this-
that.
I don't even know where he is.
Bigglesworth is
He's
Brad's
probably
cat.
dead in the corner because it's so hot.
Yeah.
No. He's going off of that though. He is a weirdo. I was telling them right before the podcast started that the cat has problems because instead of sitting in the room that's air conditioned, he goes and sits directly in the sunlight and bathes in it. And then I put him in the front of the air conditioner. He's like, "What are you doing?"
He's tanning.
He's a demon.
All right. So Bigglesworth big. Going to the next one. This is a 3DS game. Okay.
Ooh.
There has been one sold in NTSC, okay, recently that I could find. And it was only sealed, so we have to go off of a sealed copy. All right. And this game is Barbie Groom and Glam Pups.
What?
Okay. Yep. Barbie Groom and Glam Pups for the 3DS. There's only been one copy that's not, PAL region one that's actually in the NTSC. So United States. Okay. It was sealed. Sealed, brand new.
Factory sealed.
Factory sealed.
All right.
Okay. Big. Bravo, big.
It's Bravo big, not Bigglesworth.
No, big. It's Biggles big. It's big.
Oh, Bigglesworth big.
I'm in.
I'm telling you because you went big of 189. I'm telling you because I have games that are worth more than 189 back here.
I'd like to hit the buzzer.
right.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Giving Bravo a little more time to shine here.
Barbie's got to be worth more than that other one, right? Oh.
I don't know exacts, but I was reading on Reddit about how like some of the Barbie games and like
I'm ready.
more girl-oriented
Right.
games are just like super expensive.
It's because nobody wants them. All right,
nobody
let's see.
wanted them.
Yeah, nobody wanted them except for the people that want everything. All right, let's see, Bravo. Okay, you just. All right, I'm gonna. Bravo put $1,899.99, which is the exact
90 cents. You just added a
90
zero.
cents.
I just moved a
Yeah.
decimal.
Yeah, all right, you just moved the decimal. Joe guessed $5,000.
Holy biscuits!
Okay.
I can't imagine any
Somebody-
game.
Somebody hit the nail on the head. It's Joe. It is exactly $5,000 what it sold for on
What?
eBay. Yeah, it sold for exactly.
I need
That's worth like
sources.
10 points for an exact guess.
I
Yeah,
need cited sources. What? Who?
Go on eBay, type in Barbie Groom and Glam Pups for the 3DS. Go down to the sold, hit the little sold tab, and then from there, you can look and see. If you look for the actual NTSC, so it'd be like E for everybody. The symbols for the ratings that we all have that we're used to, not the where it's like Peggy 7.
This
It
was
can't be
going to be
that
my
stuff.
first guess. 800. And then I was like, there's no way. I was like, it's got to be way higher. It's sealed.
Yep.
We're going to do a.
So it was
first
actually
list-
sold for that amount, or
It
it's
was
just listed
sold
for that amount?
it was sold for $5,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's insane.
Squad, audience, family. I am not ever going to be able to play this game well. I apologize. I thought my guess was ridiculous.
Here's what I'll do for them at least. I'm going to link it into our thing, just the link, and maybe we'll even throw it into the show notes for you guys.
We're doing
So
game 3?
You can look at it. We're gonna do game 3 for fun, anyways. 'Cause, it's a fun game. Anyways, I think you guys are enjoying this, anyways, because it's so insane. This is the big boy game, right? As you can tell. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll give you one more hint. This is higher than that. That's what I'm gonna tell
You're
you.
going to need another zero, Bravo.
You're gonna need more. You're gonna need a little bit more
I'm
than
about to add
$5,000.
2 zeros.
Yeah. Okay. So this game is gonna be
100,000. 8.
This one's hard to say. It is very hard to judge because there has been one selling of this game that I've seen online, and it was on price charting. There's been no sales on eBay that I've seen, and there is one copy for sale right now, and I'm going based off of what this copy is posted at. It has not sold.
Is it on eBay or is it on price charting?
It's on eBay right now.
Okay.
It is NBA Elite 11 for the PlayStation 3. So, yeah, I couldn't believe how crazy this was. NBA Elite 11. Your hint is it's more than $5,000.
Okay. My guess is ready, bub.
Mine too.
Okay. So this is, as I said, we're going off of what that guy has it posted at.
What?
Okay, Joe has 20, is it 24 or 29?
That's 24.
24,999. And then Bravo has 7,500. Joe clean sweeps it because he was literally $200 off. It was 25,000. Well, wait, what did you have it again? 24,999?
24,999.
Yeah.
That's
so
literally the
20
highest I've ever seen anything on eBay.
$25,200 is posted at right now. And it's on a discount. The guy has like a discount on it. It was at 28,000.
I'm baffled.
Yes.
We
So
broke
hopefully,
Bravo.
hopefully that was fun for you. That's
Why?
Biggles big.
Brad, tell me why.
So this is my guess. One, it was the last time they created that series, NBA Elite 11. I don't know much about it itself, but I think it was a game that was created and they on accident released some copies out to the wild, but it wasn't actually supposed to go out and they canceled the game last minute. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, if you go on Wikipedia, development of the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions aimed to completely change the game's control systems, were pressed for the time and then 8 months development cycle. It was a demo was released. It was plagued with glitches. Basically, long story short, I think I stumbled over that. Long story short, they decided not to release it, but some internal review copies of the game were released, and some were entered circulation for the PS3 only, and they're considered rare collector's items.
Well, let me tell you, everyone listening, there was a time back in the day, many moons ago, where I accused Brad of being involved in a drug smuggling operation. And I now think he's using this podcast to
justify it.
Drug dealers in a direction to purchase the items on the store that have the drugs in them. So now his buyers know to go to these 3 games and purchase them. I'm on to you, Brad.
It's insane that, to me, what's insane is that there's somebody out there, not the NBA Elite game because that hasn't sold, right?
I've literally seen this game.
You've
like
probably
in
seen
GameStop.
I think maybe there's something that has a similar copy. I doubt you've actually seen that one specifically. But there are those rare sports games that are worth money. Like Joe actually has one. What is it? NCAA something? Football game?
NCAA 14. Yeah, but I mean it's worth like not that much.
Yeah, it's like $60, right? For a football game, maybe $100. I don't know exactly. Haven't done any research.
It's worth like $100.
Yeah,
just from a quick look.
But that's crazy for a sports game. This is kind of like the World Championship card style, right? My guess is realistically somebody who's looking for a actual PS3 complete collection, this is their World Championship cart that they're grabbing. They're probably willing to drop like 15 grand on it. I'd be amazed if somebody dropped 25K. That's somebody who just has an absurd amount of money anyways. But nonetheless, I think it's crazy that somebody actually paid 5 grand for a Barbie game.
Yes.
Like that's a hardcore 3DS collector.
That's a hardcore Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Yeah. It'll get us freaking copyright strike again. All right. But now that we got over with that fun game, how about you guys discuss your time with Mario Golf on the Switch?
Ooh, Brad, wait. Let me do my segment this week. I've got something new, something special. We're calling it Critic Critique. Simon Cardy at IGN writes, quote, "There's an art to how Nintendo usually iterates on its long-running series. That twist it almost always seems to discover makes us excited about what's to come. He later says that Mario Golf Super Rush falls short of the green more often than not. I see what you did there, Simon. With its lackluster adventure mode that is too short. However, right after that, he says that Super Mario Rush is a bright point that shakes up the formula. Almost like a twist, Simon. He critiques the adventure mode. He says he's looking for a twist, and then he says that the Super Rush mode is like exactly what he's looking for. And then he just craps all over the game for the next 2 pages of an article. He complains about the number of courses, which is also strange because the previous game, World Tour, had 10 courses, but they weren't all 18-hole courses, and they add up to 126 holes on release. Super Rush has 108 holes in 6 courses, and then they have 2 battle modes that have 9 holes apiece, which is, wait for it, 126 holes on release. So I'm sorry you didn't get the maps, but
they also announced already that they are going to be releasing at least one more 18-hole course in the city from Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, and World Tour has I can't remember, 4 or 5 DLCs, but my main point is that it's a golf game, and it's exactly as delivered. I mean, you play golf as the Mario characters. I'm sorry it doesn't have the depth of a story like a backstabbing character or a love triangle or whatever you're looking for, Simon. But it's not. It's just golf. Please.
So going off of that though, there is one thing that you may not know. The Game Boy Color games, I think actually all the handheld ones back in the day. I think there was a Game Boy Advance one, maybe a Game Boy Color. They actually played like RPGs. So it's strange. I don't know if people are expecting something like that. My only thing that I would say is, while there are exactly the same amount of holes, 126 it seems, right? Maybe they just were expecting more because the Switch is so much more powerful than 3DS. But realistically, why does that matter? If the game has quality to it, if it's a solid golf game, then it shouldn't really matter. That game mode seems really fun.
I would also like to interject in this because it applies to Brad's point. If you do play the adventure mode, it does play like a RPG in a golf format.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I actually haven't played the adventure mode because I just jumped right into multiplayer and played around with it. But I guess my only critique for the game, and it's a minor one, is that me personally, I like golf games, but I don't think it's worth $60. I wish Nintendo would have marketed this for $40, and I think they would have sold it off the shelf. Like, you wouldn't be able to keep it on the shelf, but they kept it at that 60. I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally because it has Mario in the name.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually pay 60 for it?
I did.
Like,
yeah.
Was okay? I got it for 40, which was a mistake, and the guy at Walmart caught it, and then he put up a tag that he was charging 50 for it. So I was under the impression that maybe it was a $50 game, but I didn't understand that. But I did beat the adventure mode. It wasn't very long. I have no idea what happened. I didn't understand completely what was happening. It was pretty short, but I mean, I played it had to be a few hundred holes. So it wasn't I mean, I grinded it out because I had a lot of fun playing golf games, but
So are you playing a custom character that you create, like one of your Mii's, let's say?
yeah, you play a Mii. You play as your
Okay.
Mii.
Okay, that's pretty cool though. I mean,
And you go through and as you finish courses or practice runs. So without spoiling it, the story of the game is to become a professional. And you start out as a rookie and you do some practice holes and qualify and get this copper badge. And you get a bronze badge, a silver badge, and you move up and up and up so you're a pro. As you play holes or training holes or whatever hiccup they throw at you being a Mario game, you gain levels. You spend those levels on increasing your spin, your control, your power, your stamina, and your speed. And like as you progress, if you're not leveling something pretty consistently, you'll start to degrade. So if I start slacking on upgrading my spin and focusing more on everything else, after so long my spin will drop down a point and I'd have to put a point back in to catch up. And I mean, I got to you get like for a full 18 holes, you're probably expecting 3 to 4 levels, and by the time I beat the game, I was roughly level 55, 60.
Mm.
So I mean, there's a lot of game to it. It's really fun. Me and Bravo played some multiplayer. I mean,
Yeah.
I was already halfway through the adventure, and he was fresh out of the box. But
Yeah, I want to play some more.
yeah,
I feel like
mean,
that's the main drawing point, maybe the multiplayer to
oh
me.
for sure.
But I don't know how much I would play of that single player. That sounds like a lot to me. I like golf games a lot. Usually, it's one of those things I pick up. Maybe one of the PGA games
Yeah,
for the year. I'll do it. Like it seems like almost every 3 years, I'm like, it's time to pick up, see what's going on with the PGA world, right? But I've liked the Mario Golf games. I'm actually thinking about grabbing the 3DS one just to have one on the go to play since I don't have the Switch right now. Maybe in the future, if it does drop in price, I'll grab it when I get the Switch for my buddy. But
Mhm.
when and if I end up getting it from him, but I can always borrow one, obviously. So, yeah,
I do really enjoy the PGA Tour games, and I thought it was cool how they implemented like some of the older things. Like the super shots in this one essentially become what used to be the Tiger shots in the old PGA games. But I haven't played a PGA game since probably 2014's edition, so I don't know if that's even still a thing.
I
Because
bought it. I bought it this last year, right when basically it came out, and it was because I was watching some guy and he got really into it. I was super into golf during last year. I played golf. I probably played 2 times a week, roughly. So
IRL golf?
yeah, yep.
Hmm.
I played actual like golf with my dad. I played about 2 times a week, and I was having a blast with it. So got super into it. Decided to grab the golf game, and I mean, it's completely different from what I remembered. They use like the right stick to actually do
is
the
that not a thing
power
anymore?
swing. No, that's how they do it. The right stick
Oh,
is the
okay.
swinging. So
Yeah,
last time I played, it didn't. You were using like you just tapped X, kind of like the old Mario Golf games.
yeah,
Tap
yeah.
X, hit it on the one on the line, the precision line. I guess I don't know what it would be, and then X again for yeah.
Bravo, when we played Mario Golf, did you use motion controls or were you using button?
Button.
Okay. Next
But
time we do it, let's do
yeah.
some motion controls on cam.
Yes. I've got an outfit. We'll do webcam golf. I'll get my little golfer hat outfit on, and you do the look, as you're watching the ball.
Do that. What? Lift the finger up in the air, check the wind, the butt
Yes.
wiggle.
And then he's gonna throw his
And then-
his Joy-Con through a window.
And then some guy with a car horn's just gonna.
Man.
But it's so strange, but I just really enjoy a golf game. Like I'm not a big fan of IRL golf. I'll go to Top Golf and play because I don't have to walk around or anything. But just video game golfing is where it's at.
I've golfed once in my life, but I've played at least a dozen golf games, and I'll probably continue to play them because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's move
They
on.
definitely are. All right, yeah. So we're gonna hop into our main topic, or we got anything else?
I think we are good for the debate of the year.
All right, yes. Debate of the year is gonna be: is Xbox Game Pass profitable? So we actually one of those videos, the podcast we recorded. I can't remember which one it was. It might have actually been one of the first ones that we did. We got into this little heated debate of Game Pass, and all of us were kind of had our own opinions, and we were like, this actually would be a good topic on its own. We scrapped that and decided to make it its own topic. So we all did our own research, and we want to present it to you guys and kind of discuss back and forth and what we think Game Pass is, and if it's profitable, where it's going to go in the future. A little bit of an overview, right? Overall.
Okay, before I get into this, let's all discuss our stance coming into this because we were a little bit split. Bravo and I
Why are you
were
trying to
of the-
fight?
Bravo and I were of the impression that yes, Game Pass is profitable. Brad was on the other side of the fence and he did not think it was. So
Correct.
ideally by the end of this we come to a conclusion that we're all happy with, or we take it out back and see who's here next
Yeah.
week.
And what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Vision Gaming Podcast. Today it's only Bravo and I. Joe's in the back somewhere, hiding behind a tree.
But getting to the nitty-gritty of it, we did some research to come to this and make like actual debate topics because we wanted to be a little bit more serious with this podcast. So starting off, some information about Game Pass. Game Pass, as of April 20th, 2021, hit a new subscriber milestone. They reached 23 million subscribers. This was directly from Screen Rant, which Microsoft released that they finally hit 23 million, which didn't take very long because as of January 2021, they were at 18 million. So over 4 months,
Numbers.
yeah, over 4 months, they gained 1.25 million subscribers per month. So taking that into account, if we start out with the 21.75 million users, which is the amount of users minus a month, we are looking at about $326.25 million monthly. This is specifically for, we're going to say June, as we don't have numbers since then. So I'm just saying the numbers are still the same. Most likely not. Adding on the 1.25 million new users that get Game Pass for $1 for the first month, we're looking at about $327.5 million a month off of Game Pass in revenue. Not considering profit because we don't actually know what they spent to get to that point. But gaming consoles as a whole are taking losses. We've all known this for how long now that Microsoft, Sony, they both sell their consoles at a loss because they make their money off games and now subscription-based services, as well as like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. I don't know what it's actually called, their multiplayer platform. I just know I have it.
The PS Now? That one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's PS Now.
Okay. But Game Pass Ultimate, $15 a month, and according to the company, I mean, they say about $3.2 billion a year. And that was, roughly less than 18 million subscribers. As more people were picking up the Xbox Series X consoles, as the X Cloud comes to more platforms like smart TVs and just got full force thrown out for PC and iOS devices, which was announced yesterday. The numbers of subscribers is just going to shoot up even faster than before because now it's a broader audience who doesn't want to play Gears of War on their phone or play Skyrim on their TV and they've never owned a console before, or play Skyrim on their Alexa because that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
So actually, really quickly, Joe and I were talking about this just a tad before the podcast because he just said, "Have you heard about xCloud?" I was like, "No, I don't know what that is." He was going over that, and we both were like, "That's insane," and honestly, a little bit of frightening of what's going to come in the future for gaming as a whole. Because are is this going to become a monopoly? Who knows?
That is
yeah,
so
it's
interesting that you said that. You'll know in a minute why.
All right.
Have you been reading my notes again, Brad? God dang it.
No, I'm
but analyst Daniel Ahmad told Eurogamer that Xbox is still very much in its user acquisition stage, and that once people have like the library, they're very unlikely to unsubscribe, and they're going to keep subscribing then for years to come. So like once more people get into this, the profits are just like compounding on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty much all Microsoft has to do as of now is just wait it out, sustain the platform, and keep pulling in subscribers until there's a competitor like PlayStation has their service, but it just doesn't compete with the amount of titles or quality of titles.
Mm-hmm. So, two things on top of what Joe said. Whenever I did my math, I did it conservatively because the Game Pass, excluding the $1 for the first month or the first 3 months, depending on which one you subscribe to. The default price is $10, and then like the gold price, the Xbox Gold subscription is $15. So I went completely conservative, assuming that everybody is paying the $10, which we know is not true. then you get a monthly profit of $230 million, and then to kind of help visualize these crazy numbers, Xbox alone makes $390 million in revenue and $120 million of profit daily. So the $230 million they get in a month is just a drop in the bucket of profit that they're making off of this one thing. So just to visualize how big of a move this is, but how small of a problem it is for Microsoft. I thought that was pretty interesting.
So another thing that we got onto at one point was Xbox is pretty small for Microsoft comparative to a lot of their other things. Just going off of, I'll talk about it. So in quarter 2 of 2021, their intelligent cloud generated 14.6 billion, which is 34% of their total revenue. That's just their like Microsoft Azure stuff in that venture. And this is a thing that is going to keep going forward. And this is why they can afford to do these astronomical moves that they do, such as purchase Bethesda. Because they earned that in 1 quarter, and no problem. They made that back in 1 quarter, no problem. Didn't even phase them, where other companies could not do that.
Yeah, Xbox made $43 billion quarter 4 of 2020. They literally made 2.5 Bethesdas in profit quarter 4 2020. Yeah. That's how freaking monstrous these guys are. So Phil Spencer had an interview with The Verge November 2020, which the subscriber count at that time was, I think, 18 million around. He states that they make custom deals with developers to bring their games to Gamepass. Sometimes that's a promised amount of money. Basically we'll give you a bare bones, like, just a flat check that we will write you if you just give us your game to go on Game Pass. So like guarantees developers that they'll make X amount of money off of the game, or other times they'll completely fund a game's development. A developer will say, hey, we're like 20% done with this game, but we would love to show it to you to perhaps get you interested or involved. Let us put it on Game Pass. And Xbox says, oh, we actually really like that concept, so we're just going to fund it all, and they'll take a portion of the profits. And then, of course, to nobody's surprise, they also do the usage and monetization. So per user using the game, the developer will make money off of it, which I think is probably the majority of the developers. Because if I developed a game, I don't know, about Mort the Chicken or something, I would be very confident that game would actually, what's the word? It would succeed, right? Nobody's developing a game like, I don't think it's going to be good, especially if you're an indie developer.
No, that is definitely true. But somebody who maybe is a little more conservative and they're looking at their prospects and like, okay, we're a first-time game developer, we're brand new to the to the business. Give us just a flat rate, boom. Kind of similar to Rocket League. I don't know if you remember this. Rocket League did something similar on PlayStation. They just gave it to PlayStation Plus, and obviously we didn't do any research on PlayStation Plus. I'm sure it's pretty similar to this, but I imagine it was like, hey, we're just going to give you like some flat fee, or I imagine that's probably what the
that was actually pretty scary for Psyonix, the developers of Rocket League. They basically like put all their money in one basket, and they're like, okay, we're about to release this, and PlayStation was like, oh, you should put this on our free monthly game right here, and just give it to everybody. And it was just like this bold move, and it paid off, at least for Psyonix. But I want to wrap up these statistics and thoughts into my own opinion of Game Pass. I think Game Pass brings in two kinds of people. Folk like me who otherwise would not purchase Xbox games. So that's just free money for Xbox for however long that a person like me would subscribe. And then there's Xbox fanboys who want to get more games at a lesser cost, but those goofballs are still going to buy the physical copies of their favorite games, whether it be Halo or what have you. So I will agree with Brad that initially, which it shouldn't be too big of a surprise, but initially, like it's going to be at a loss. They're going to operate at a loss. But I think what we've all kind of bounced around, and this is why I said your comment about monopolization is interesting because that's the conclusion I came to was that these guys over the next who knows 6 months, year, 2 years, if they keep developing the library that they currently have to just include more and more games, they could really create a heavy monopoly where nobody can compete. Technically, nobody is competing right now, just with what they have. The closest thing is PlayStation Now, and let's be honest, it kind of sucks with
Yeah.
when you compare it to the Game Pass. So these
Oh, yeah.
guys have they have like a chance to create a Netflix level monopoly on the subscription based gaming platform and just destroy the competition. And that's important because if they buy up everybody and create this monopoly, then they can start to do the corpo thing where they capitalize on having the monopoly and they charge people exorbitant fees, they develop bad games, bad customer service. It just kind of,
Yep.
chain reaction from there.
So I just want to add one. I think you stole some of my notes because I had exactly basically what you wrote down with the quotes from Phil Spencer here. Some additional things though to note that Xbox is actually very kind for the most part. They play this like they're not competitive actually with Sony. Like they'll post things on Twitter and be like, "Hey, congratulations on the release of Ghost of Tsushima," or they do a lot of these things. And with these companies, what they do is they will, like what Bravo said, there's a lot of differences of how they go about acquiring the games, where whether it's, as I said, a monetization based on usage, or they just pay a flat fee, they pay for the development of the game. So the positive thing though for these developers is they can put the games also on PlayStation, on Steam, Xbox, Switch, everything.
Oh, that is a
So
really good point.
yeah, that's something that's insane. So they're not actually hurting. Like this is benefiting these smaller companies. That's all it's doing. It's not really hurting them. Um, they, you know, that's the power of Microsoft. Though they have so much money. So another one thing I just want to note out the statistic is there are over 200 games on Game Pass right now. So and this is rotating. They're adding more games, removing things. I only got this number. I didn't get an actual specific number because I couldn't really find one. It literally says over 100, but if you go onto Xbox's website and at the bottom you can you know how kind of like when you look at a page it'll be like how many items do you want on the page?
Oh
You
yeah,
could do it by 200s and there's more than one page of it.
yeah.
So it's like okay, so it's more than 200. Simple as that, right? I didn't go and count every single game one by one. But um that is a ridiculous amount of games on Game Pass. Now, obviously, some of these are going to be easier for them, cheaper. That's the thing, is there's wide ranges. That makes it tough. But I think what Bravo said is exactly what it is. There is no doubt that Game Pass in the future is going to make money. Is right now, I don't think that they're profitable. I think that they're in their like baby footsteps, right? And then in the future is when we're going to see this thing blow up. And I don't see this being stopped. I think it's just a matter of time until this thing gets to a point where they could be like a spectrum, right? Around here, it's like every 3 months, it seems like my internet bill goes up because they're like a monopoly
Oh.
around here. So I I think that that's I'm not saying that the Xbox is going to do that, but
Mhm.
there's a chance that I think that they are going to be like a monopoly. But
Yeah, so my opinion of it is that they are making a profit because they're gaining monies that they otherwise would not get, or they're gaining extra money from people that are already paying for Xbox games, and that the profit margin is going to continue to go up. Joe, what do you think?
Okay, so more math for everyone. I know we all love it. The average AAA game development and launch costs between 60 to 80 million. So we're talking average. Some games are higher, some games are lower. Xbox Game Pass first launched June 1st, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to estimate to 4 years because, it's the end of June, but we'll just backtrack. So with it being the higher end, saying $80 million per game for a AAA title, if every game on Game Pass was a AAA title, you'd be able to release 4 AAA games a month and it would still be at a profit currently. And if we're talking 4 games over 48 months, we're at a little over 170. And we could all agree that there's more than 25 indie games on Game Pass.
Now,
So
is
if
that
every
Oh, yeah.
game was fully funded by Xbox and developed during this time frame, they would be making a profit right now.
but they didn't
That's if
have
you're
the
the only thing I'm going to say to this is that you guys are automatically assuming that they're making $10 to $15 per person, right? They're
It
not.
does.
I'll tell you that right now. Like for me, right? Like, okay, Joe, for example, is a person. Joe can't even say anything because Joe pays $1 a month right now, and he's had it for months. Okay. So how many Joes are there out there?
hold
And
up.
how many of these people
We
are
don't talk
they?
about it. Don't
How-
throw me under the bus.
How you
all
paying
right?
$1 a month still?
Don't worry about it. All right. Stop
Yeah.
asking questions and we're moving on.
Yeah. So there's numerous people that are like that, right? You get numerous people that are like me, where I buy it for 1 month, and I'm like, okay, I had my fill. I wanted to just play this one game, and I never do it. Or they're gonna create like some, loophole or whatever. I'll tell you, this is the weird thing. I had it for 1 month, and I went back and I could get it for $1. I'm wondering if they do that weird thing where it's like, oh, come back to us. We'll give it to you for $1. Because all they want is numbers, and then they want you to do the Netflix thing of you forget it, and then they charge you the 15, right? But if I just don't see that they're making this much. I guarantee you a lot of people are in that dollar category. I'm sure there's other deals and stuff like that that they do and stuff, but they're also churning games in and out nonstop. Like, we're not talking about, okay, how much money they're making and stuff. It's like they have to get the licenses, they have to pay these people, they have to do all these things nonstop. I mean, they're changing games out left and right. It's not like, oh, this game's on here, it's on there for the rest of the time, right? They're constantly changing over these games, trying to entice people in. And they have their big games like Halo, obviously, that stay on there because it's Microsoft produced,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they got the Gears, Halo, and all that. But when you're paying a stupid amount for the indie games just because you want something new on the title, that's what is, I think, hurting them. And as I said, at some point, yes, it's going to turn into. So I'll say, though, that I actually have a quote from the senior reporter of Verge who specifically analyzes Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Tom Warden. He tweeted, Microsoft vice president of Xbox business development confirms it wouldn't make money off Xbox if it didn't take 30% cut on digital games. So the only reason why they get anything is because of the 30% on digital games. But that's not talking about Game Pass. It's talking about everything for Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So he's also said, no, right now Game Pass is not profitable. Doesn't mean that in the future it will be profitable. But he's saying as of today, and that was like 2 months ago, it is not profitable.
I mean, realistically, we're never going to, and nobody's going to know, even this guy from The Verge, until they see Microsoft release an official report.
I think that if they were making profit, they would tell you straight up, or Xbox Game Pass is profitable. It's as simple as that. There's no reason for them to hide it.
Why would they hide that it's not profitable?
Why would they hide that it's
that
not?
just makes them look even more consumer friendly and bring in more hype.
Because it's as simple as this. Nobody cares what they do for it because the customer's winning right now. We're all winning for Game Pass, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So nobody cares if they're making money or not because it's Microsoft, because they make so much money just on, as I said, they're making 34% of their revenue just on things like Azure, Microsoft
Yeah.
Azure. Okay,
Let
that
me
has nothing to do with Game Pass, so they don't care if they make money or not on this.
let
It's
me
doing nothing for them.
let me step in two things. So the one thing, your previous comment about like the dollar thing and how Joe is somehow slipping through the cracks. Unfortunately, we can't quantify that. I don't know why or how Joe is doing that. Maybe they are just continuing people's subscription for $1 because they want to keep people and up their numbers or whatever. But we can't measure that at all. So I would put that as a not able to talk about kind of thing, or not able to quantify. And then secondly, you have to also think about the incentive to bring people in. Put the item in the customer's hand will always like increase sales, right? So I wonder, and I can't quantify this either, so a little bit of hypocrisy here, but how many people use Game Pass for $1? Let's say they get a really good deal, and then they go play 3-4 games, and they're like, "Wow, I really like this game, but I don't want to play anything else." They dip out of Game Pass and they go buy 2 of the games that they tried out. So what I'm getting at is they're bringing in people into their store to view their massive library, and then some of those people are going to purchase a game that they otherwise would not have touched at all.
I
So
actually had numbers on this as well.
the only
Uh,
thing, though, really quickly,
Mhm.
with just from what Bravo said, that has nothing to do with our discussion because people buying the game does not
That makes
entail make them money of Game Pass.
that makes
Like
Game
we're
Pass
talking
profitable.
that has nothing to do with if they sell a game. Like if somebody buys Gears of War, that does not mean Game Pass is profitable, right?
but I mean,
How are you
yes and
making
no.
money? Yes, because
All right,
Microsoft
let me
owns Gears of War does not mean that Game Pass is making money off of the Gears of War
let
sale,
me let
right?
me
Okay,
put it to you a
so
different way. If I sell donuts on the side of the road in front of a used car lot, and one person a month comes by and eats my cheapo donuts, and they think, you know what? I think I do need a Mercedes, and they buy that Mercedes, where they otherwise would not have purchased that car. That means the donut stand is profitable because the donut stand is owned by the used car salesman. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're
I
saying, but I'm gonna
I
agree
see what
with
you're
Brad
saying.
that it's
That has
unrelated to this
that has
topic.
no relative. Like the person. Here's the thing. You're
It's
you're thinking that it has a
It's
like
relative, but on top, like
It's
I know
relative
what I'm
because it's the
saying.
it's
company.
it's
It's
profitable
relative
to
because
Microsoft.
it's the same wallet, but I
Yeah,
understand that's why I led with a little bit of hypocrisy here, because it's not technically Game Pass being profitable.
yeah. I mean, we could say that Azure is making them so much money. Game Pass is profitable because Azure is making 34% of, or whatever, the intelligent cloud generated 14.6 billion, 34% of their revenue. Okay, yeah. Game Pass is making tons of money because you've
I
got
also
14
one thing
like
we haven't talked about
Microsoft.
with Game Pass is not every game in this came out this year. We're talking games like the original Halo and Halo 2, Halo 3. They're on Game Pass. I mean, if we sit here and talk and say that Microsoft is still making money off of Halo 2 and Halo 3 without Game Pass, we're all just didn't come to this prepared at all. So there's games like this that are like, Microsoft already made all of their profits off of. So anytime someone downloads Game Pass and just plays a Halo game, it's essentially just free money to Microsoft, like something they've already done. They're just profiting off of a second time. And I'm not saying that every game's like that, but there's definitely a percentage. The Gears of Wars are old games. And now with the Bethesda acquisition, like Elder Scrolls Morrowind is an old game. Oblivion's an old game.
Well, that's
Like,
all stuff that they own, right? So
okay.
I'm talking about the stuff that's so you take a
So are we
2017 game from, let's say, whatever, some indie game from 2017 that they don't have the rights to. They have to acquire it. It's an old game that they're paying for. They're probably paying a little bit less, obviously, for that. But anything that's brand new, like say, I think they got the rights to Control day one, right?
I don't think so. I think that was PlayStation.
Well, they also, as we discussed before, they don't always pay for a game. They can offer a game. People can do monetization. They can pay upright check. They could pay per person. Like there's different models that they can do. So it's hard to quantify that. But
Yeah, like for me, the main thing is I know that obviously these big name titles that they already own, like they paid their upfront obviously for Bethesda. Now they own Bethesda. They're still paying something obviously to develop the new stuff. I don't know, like I don't know what the back end is, right? So because they own it, they're still Bethesda's still its own separate company, right? So they have to like pay them. I'm sure that like in order to keep them running, they have to pay them to acquire like Skyrim, just to say, right? Like it's differently with Halo, maybe because, but then again, I guess that's 343, so it's kind of similar, right? They have to pay them for, well, not Halo 5 or Infinite or whatever, because that's going to be brand new at the time. But whatever the newest Halo was, like they probably still had to pay a little bit. Like, yeah, it's probably not extraordinary amount of. We'll just use Control as an example. I do think it was Control. I think Control PlayStation got way later because I remember having it on my PlayStation Plus, but it wasn't when it was brand new. But say it's something that's, we'll just use Ubisoft as an example. That day one they're getting this Ubisoft game, they're going to have to pay a pretty good penny for something like that to be on Game Pass day one. Those are the big titles that they're going to take hits on. Obviously, the smaller stuff is going to be a little bit rough, like to guess, because indie games can vary so much. But what I'm saying is, yes, it's hard to quantify. And I think all of us can judge this. It's hard to say because we don't know actual statistics. They're not releasing, well, this many people are paying $1. Okay, is 23 million subscribers, is that current or is that just what we've had?
That's current.
Okay, yeah, but as I said, is it 23 as of right now? They're paying $1. Are they paying $10? Are they paying $15? Do they somehow get some deal of $5? We don't know what the variation is. And how many people are slipping through the crack that are like Joe that should be paying.
Could we stop talking about
15?
it? All right.
I'm gonna make you pay $15 at the end of this.
I'm gonna right after this podcast, I'm gonna go tweet like at Microsoft. Can we check this guy's account, please?
So overall, I think it's hard to say. I think in the future, no doubt, it's gonna be a juggernaut, and I think it's something that Sony specifically has to worry about. But the thing that holds them back is something like me, where I had a bad experience and I already canceled my subscription because it wouldn't even let me download the games onto Game Pass from Game Pass, right? So there's a lot of these hiccups. It needs to just be user friendly where you straight up can download it wherever you want or stream it wherever you want and it works.
Actually works, yeah.
I think we're coming to a case of user error.
No.
It's not user error at all.
2 out of the 3 people in this chat have had terrible experiences with the Xbox app, and yeah, I too I've had some pretty strange interactions with the store, with the library. Like it is very strange. And then Joe's over
I got
here.
it to work.
Yeah.
Like I got it to work, but here's the thing: is somebody who's not a technician, right? Who's jumping through all of these hoops is probably not going to go through what I did.
Yeah.
To figure out how to get it to work, right?
And then yeah, we know people that hang out in our community that have also had terrible trouble with Xbox.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nobody. Not anybody.
Not
even you two.
Joe's like, not in my community. Maybe
what
yours.
Are you talking about?
Not mine. But Brad gave his summary of what he thought here. So we're not changing any minds, I think. Joe, why don't you give your conclusionary summary?
Based off of my non-professional mathematics, there's not a single way, shape, or form that Game Pass is not profitable unless Microsoft is paying 50 times the amount of what they should be paying indie games.
But we've proven that they're willing to pay an absorbent amount because they paid way more money than what Bethesda's worth.
I would
So
disagree.
absolutely paid more than what Bethesda's worth. Bethesda's not even close to
But
worth 7.5 billion.
okay, maybe past Bethesda is not worth 7.5 billion, but the future of Bethesda and the past
Okay.
combined.
So very quickly, I will throw this argument out there. How many quality games does Bethesda put out versus games that are
Okay, how many times did they release Skyrim and made profit?
Yes, Skyrim is their one game that is profitable. Yes. And then from there, you've got Fallout, correct?
You got Doom, you got the
So,
Wolfensteins.
so what I'm saying is this, Fallout 4, how well did that do?
Pretty
I
good.
mean, profitably, it did pretty well.
Fallout 4 was a huge tank for the Fallout series compared to 3. Fallout 76,
We
tank.
don't talk about that one.
76
Fallout
is
76
horrible.
tanked. Okay. Like there's a Bethesda, honestly, like even though they're a decent company, they're significantly worse than what they were back in the day.
They've definitely
And
gone downhill.
yeah, so it worries me to like yes, there's obviously the big games that as somebody who mainly plays on PlayStation, and I'm like, oh yeah, it sucks for most users not to be able to maybe play Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield if you're into that. But who's to say that it even works well? I mean, Bethesda's known for having super glitchy games right off the bat.
So
Skyrim.
just a quick Google about the profit of Fallout 4, subtracting the $120 million estimate for production costs, they made about 1.9 billion in profit off of Fallout
comparative to
4.
Which
but I'm wondering comparative to the rest of their games. I'm wondering what it is.
right, and
Okay.
you know,
I'm not gonna go into it obviously, but I imagine that that's less than what they made on Fallout 3. And then
So
Fallout 76 is probably less than Fallout
definitely
4.
less than that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just I feel like there's just this kind of trend that they've kind of been going on hill, honestly.
yeah,
Like their
Sure.
big thing is Doom. Like
But
Doom right now has been pretty big.
in the instance that they get 4 Fallout 4 type releases in the entire next, we'll say, however many years of Bethesda, Xbox wins.
Yeah, there's like I said, there is no doubt. It's like anything else. If you pay anything, right? I buy a game, like you buy your Ocarina of Time complete in box. You pay your money up front. You're like, darn, it sucks that I just had to pay this much money up front. Down the road, you're gonna make your money back if you sell it. Like there's
Well,
no
I ain't
doubt.
selling.
Yeah, but there's no doubt in your mind. It's like anything else. Like
Yeah.
unless something completely tanks, unless you know went into Beanie Babies and you thought Beanie Babies are the thing, man. I'm putting $2,000 into this Beanie Baby collection. Every one of them's worth $2.
don't talk
Like-
about my Beanie Baby collection.
But no, realistically, like Elder Scrolls 6 ever comes out, realistically, Elder Scrolls is a bigger franchise than Fallout from the
100%.
sheer numbers. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to do better than Fallout 4 unless they release a game that's absolute and utter dog poo. But
I think it's tough to say though because how much is it going to cost to make Elder Scrolls 6, right? It's going to be probably you're looking at games probably going to release on. Did they say a date? Like a time
No.
frame? Okay.
we've seen a mountain.
I'm that mountain 3 years to make. There's been nothing else added.
All right, let me bring this up then. How much time and money has Bethesda already put into developing Elder Scrolls 6 at the time of being purchased by Microsoft? So Microsoft has already shelled over that much money, right?
Do you know what year they bought them?
Wasn't it like last year?
Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Like 2020?
2020 kind of a blur to me. So it
Yeah,
feels
no,
like,
it's-
feels like 2019. But
I'd say a word, but I can't say it. We get
So-
banned.
getting back to the Game Pass real quick because we got off on a pretty fun tangent. My summary is that $230 million a month, or conservatively $2.7 billion a year, is still a profit for them because in my eyes, they're making that much extra money from people who otherwise would not be spending that much money a month on Xbox.
Oh, we also haven't even thought about server maintenance and all that stuff too. But nonetheless.
Microsoft purchased Bethesda completed March 9th, 2021.
Okay.
Ooh, sooner than I
So
expected.
yeah.
That happened yesterday.
Yeah, that is actually very
That's
But
when it was finalized. So like the acquisition was already announced before then, but that's when it was like done deal.
now I know that this is it's an interesting topic though, so we'll continue just a little bit. But the the thing is, it's not free. It's not like these guys are, you know, just making the game for free, obviously. And Microsoft is paying to make the game, plus they're probably helping pay to keep the company afloat, you know, running things.
Well, as
So
far as I'm
there's
concerned, they own everything Bethesda. So the bill
Right.
is all Microsoft.
Yes.
yeah. So I'm just saying that I'm sure there's more things in the behind the scenes. It's not that I'm saying that I don't think Bethesda is going to be profitable. Like I obviously Bethesda is profitable. It's just they paid an absurd amount of money up front, like that nobody else would have if it wasn't for the fact that it's Microsoft.
Right.
That's all I was saying.
I'm
If it wasn't
gonna
Microsoft,
they say have our pennies. We want your whole IP.
yeah.
I don't even think 7.5 billion is like a ridiculous amount. Like I said, if Fallout makes 1.9 billion, that's 4 games that are not even considered like one of their better games.
Can you say that number again? Is it 7.9?
7.5 billion is
7.5.
what Microsoft paid to acquire Bethesda. 1.9 billion is the estimated profit for Fallout
So
4, which it was based the number was put up in 2019.
so yeah, that's just quick math off of their own tweeted out numbers of profit. $120 million a day. That is 62 and a half days of profit. That is 2 months of work for Microsoft to just own Bethesda outright. And that part of the reason is because there's not a whole lot of $1 trillion companies out there that can just hey yeah, I've got that much in my pocket. Let me write you a check. You know.
Like I don't think that Sony would not be capable of doing it, right?
I would
So,
agree.
all right, let's just use an example, okay? Just to give you guys an example of money wise, right? Comparative, okay? Insomniac Games, the guys that made Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, all
Yep.
those, pretty good company, right? Would you say?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like solid. How much money do you think that they were purchased for by Sony?
It was less than a billion, guaranteed.
$783 million.
All right, it was 229 million. So you're
But
telling me
I lost
you're
it.
telling me that Insomniac is that much worse than Bethesda?
yes,
They're
if I
not.
ask if
Absolutely
I
not.
ask the guy down the street who doesn't own a video game if he's heard of Skyrim, he's going to say yes. If I ask him if
It's
he's heard of Ratchet and Clank, he might not.
we're not talking about anything of who knows what games. We're talking about, well, do they know Spider-Man?
Sure, the comic book.
Exactly. They know Spider-Man. It's kind of the same as like I would say that there's more likely of a chance that they know Spider-Man than they know Skyrim, right? So all I'm saying for this aspect is they overpaid. That's all I'm saying. Like Bethesda's not worth that much more than Insomniac. Like, sure, they have some IPs and stuff, but I would say Insomniac is one crazy developer to get for like comparing them. It's like they got a steal almost, right?
They definitely got a deal between the two, but it's Insomniac. I'm not as familiar with how long they've been around, but what is their track record comparatively?
I mean they've definitely made a lot of games. The I'm not saying that Bethesda isn't uh a worthy company to acquire. Like it's a massive thing. Like I mean, they were having their own conferences by themselves when they were a third party at E3, right? That's how large Bethesda was. But and that's why everybody was like, "There's no chance that Bethesda is going to be purchased by one person." But you got Bethesda, I mean, excuse me, Microsoft that comes in with their insane wallets. That's nothing to them, and they're able
Mhm.
just to throw it out, right? So it, like I said, it's not I'm not saying that it's not a good acquisition because overall, yes, they're gonna make money from it, but I still don't like I think that they just overpaid when you compare other purchases that have happened, like 229 million for Insomniac. When you look at it compared to Bethesda's 7.5 billion, you're like, what the heck? Did they go to a flea market and buy them? Like what?
So
Nope.
when did Sony buy Insomniac?
2019.
Okay. So I want to point out this as my counter argument to why it is incomparable. Insomniac has 4 IPs listed: Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, Resistance, and the Marvel Spider-Man are their 4 major IPs.
Yep.
They were a year out of making Spider-Man because that released in 2018. Resistance, pretty much a dead series. We could all agree to that.
Hey, don't talk about that. It's
Yeah,
coming
no,
back.
it's kind of like
getting
Spyro,
remastered.
right? Like Spyro,
Dead
so
series. It got the reignited trilogy, but that's
but
about
that
it.
wasn't even made by them.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So
So
like no,
they have
it's
2 IPs.
their track record of they make quality titles that they're buying. It's kind of like it's like this. Are you willing to buy a company that makes consistent 8.5 to 9 out of 10 games, or for 229 million, or are you going to pay the 7.5 billion where you got people that are making games like Skyrim to Fallout 76 range, right?
I'm gonna pay 7.5 billion for the people who make more than 1 game from 2005 to 2018 that actually has a big name, and that
What
being Spider-Man.
what's the other games? 2005?
Yeah, that was what they have listed as the end of the Ratchet and Clank before the newest one that actually became like a big hit.
Well, I mean, they made the other Ratchet and Clank games, and they made the Resistance games, and Resistance was like a really big FPS game. I mean, it might not seem like to you, it was pretty big.
Well, it's only dead because
Mm.
it's not been developed. I
Yeah, they just stopped
really enjoyed that
Yeah.
series.
I mean, I liked them. I played a few of them, but you can't sit here and tell me they're Battlefield, Call of Duty, or Halo.
Well,
No,
I mean, what do you compare that? Activision is a whole other level. I mean, Bobby Kodak's got golden bathroom toilet seats over here, right?
Mhm.
Like,
I'm gonna jump in and be the middleman. I think Insomniac is definitely worth more than 28 million, and Bethesda was purchased for the 7.5 billion, mostly to just straight up acquire their assets and their future potential, because they do have a lot of titles that have already built up fan base and hype over games that will be releasing in the future. Where if we are comparing the 2 developers, Joe pointed out that they don't really have a lot of things in development. They basically have a name and a really good track record, but the tracks stopped being made years ago.
all I want to preface and say though is I'm not saying that it's not a good acquisition. I'm just saying that in a normal circumstance, if Xbox wasn't owned by Microsoft, the deal would not have happened. If it was like if Xbox was its own thing, kind of like Sony, Nintendo, I think it would still be a third party.
Yeah,
Not
but
saying that it's a bad
we're
thing.
getting into cosmic arguments though, because if Xbox wasn't a part of Microsoft, they'd make decisions differently and
Oh no,
wouldn't be who they are and blah blah blah. So I do understand what you're
agree.
saying though.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's an absurd amount of money to just shell out up front for anything. That's just
It
it.
is.
That's all I'm saying.
It's an absurd amount of money, but it's 2 months worth of pennies being saved by Microsoft, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
Xbox. That's only Xbox profits. I have to correct myself.
It's pretty absurd. And just thinking that Xbox is a fraction of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where going off another very quick thing, Sony bought Housemarque, the guys that made Returnal, but they didn't say
I
how
saw
much they
that.
bought it for.
Yeah, I did see they just acquired them.
So
Huh.
that's nice of them.
Yeah.
I haven't played that game
Housemarque's always been kind of buddy with Sony, so it's not too surprising. I don't know about you guys. I think we got a show done here.
So, no minds were changed, but we actually, I think, learned quite a bit independently and then combined our thoughts here on the show. And I thought I was going to be the one to come with the secret uppercut of monopolization, but we all kind of hit the same nail without even
It really is
knowing
scary
about it.
thinking about
Yes.
what it can turn into.
Oh yeah. If you imagine this, so right now Gamepass, they have it on PC. They're putting it on the phones now. Or is it completely on phones? Is that
It's
what it is?
iOS devices.
Okay, so it's on iOS. Once it's on Android, it's on all
Well, what is the
mobile
Cloud
basic
X? Cloud X is coming to
Yeah.
Android.
Yeah, but it's not yet. It just went full-fledged into iOS as of yesterday.
Oh.
So once it hits that, I feel like what's going to happen in the future is they're going to come up with a deal, and this is going to be a baked-on application, kind of similar to like how Netflix
No.
is.
I don't want
And you're going to have a little button that says Game Pass on it. You click that button, and boom, Game Pass is up on your TV. You're streaming games right from there, and obviously we're waiting for once internet becomes good enough in some of the states. Because obviously in the, I don't know, like Alaska, I'm sure it's not very good.
it.
Once SpaceX screws over all these other internet companies,
We'll see.
things are going to change real quick.
Yeah. So I think that's when you're gonna start seeing some scariness of monopolization. But overall, I mean, somebody could come out and swing. Like Sony obviously has potential because they do have a pretty good platform. I mean, PlayStation Now is not solid, but it can get there if they put their time and effort into it, and they realize sooner rather than later that, hey, we need to start working this way also.
Yeah, if Sony, like I have their PlayStation Now or whatever it is, their subscription-based service, because it was like $60 for a year. And, that's not really much considering that I still need to play through like Days Gone, God of War, and, those other big titles. But the fact that you have to like stream half of them and you can't just download them and play them when you want is an issue to me as
Yes.
opposed to Game Pass.
The
Yeah,
streaming
it's weird.
is a big problem for them.
Yeah, they purchased some company, and that company honestly wasn't the greatest, but they just want to implement their technology that they had for the streaming. But what I think that could save them is kind of the same thing that Nintendo could do it too. Put out a subscription-based thing where you get NES, SNES, N64 games.
God,
People
don't
that
get me
own
started.
if they did that, everybody would own that. Everybody would own a PlayStation subscription, an Xbox subscription, and a Nintendo subscription, probably just to get the exclusives from the past. It wouldn't surprise me. If you get those PS1 games that are exclusive, you get Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4, just for an example. Those games are like $100 a piece. They have not been released on anything else. The only game that has been is Silent Hill 1 on PlayStation 3 Network. So you can download it for like $5.99 or $9.99. Can't remember. But other than that, there is no way to play that game other than emulation, obviously. And if you want to play it, I would say in quotes, legitimately through Sony, that would be the only way. And I think that would be a huge plus for them. That goes for Nintendo pushing DuckTales 2, right? If that game was available through a Nintendo online service, that game's like stupid expensive. It's like $200 for just a cart or something.
Nintendo, just let me play Ocarina of Time on my Switch already. That's all I ask. Just give us a virtual console on the Switch. It's not
Makes
that
no
hard of a
sense.
concept. Just take my money.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I don't
say the
want to
same thing.
spend $200 on the Ocarina of Time box. I want to just grab my Switch, go sit outside at the pool, and just play Ocarina without having to lug a TV outside.
I feel like they're kind of dumb. Like you think it's like easy money. They could. How many times have they sold Mario 1 to us? Anyways, we're getting on a rant. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
Game Pass.
guys,
I gotta go to bed.
thank you so much for listening again. This is episode 5. We are really enjoying ourselves here. I would love to hear what you have to say about the Game Pass. You can add us on Twitter at envision_org. You can email us directly at envisiongamingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can comment below on the YouTube where we archive all of our episodes. Have a good one.
See you, everybody.